Hello and welcome, folks, to another episode of Real Life After 70. Boy, I tell you, it's an interesting ride. My name is Mike Reynolds, and I'm your host here today. And the issues today are the issues of the day. Uh, what is happening? Oh boy, I tell you, I have been angry since the election. I got to tell you that. And I say angry, I got a lot of good things going in my life. So I'm not going around pouting and spouting all the time. But I tell you, lately, and since I guess it was called the State of the Union address here, and that was just a couple of days ago. And boy, I listened to that and I watched that. And it was just a glaring display of fascism. I mean, I can just see if he had a little mustache or something, he could be Adolf Hitler. I tell you, and the Republican Party in that room, aha, in lockstep. Oh my gosh, what an embarrassment for the world. And my gosh. So anyway, I've been angry, but I've also come to the conclusion that I can't do anything to change any of this stuff on my own. There's just no way. I can do this, that, and the other thing, and I'll participate as much as I possibly can. But I'm not going to get to change anything. But the other thing I can change is I can stop reacting to it and I can start responding to it more and hopefully do it in a positive way that's going to help people get through this, whatever it is. And I don't know what's going to come out on the other end. Ooh, it's the stuff of science fiction that's going on here right now. We're suffering a coup, uh, bloodless, thank you very much, almost anyway. But it's sad. It's sad. So anyway, we're gonna. I'm starting something new here. I mean, we are in our 70s. We saw the 60s. I was in the Marine Corps from 1970 to 72 as far as my active duty goes. Now, I was one of the fortunate ones, and I did not participate in the Vietnam thing, other than I spent 15 months of that time in Guam, and I was on the periphery of it, and it's I can't explain it, but we had when in the late 60s, it started, I guess, maybe with Woodstock. Now, I was 18 years old when Woodstock happened, and I don't think I knew about it until I was 21. So I lived in a small town in Maine, and that's where I graduated from high school. And then shortly thereafter, I think it was like 7 or 8 months, it was that following winter in February of 1970 that I hooked up with the Marine Corps with a friend of mine, and we went on our way and hit Paris Island, and the rest is history, so they speak. But anyway, I'm a veteran, and as a veteran, I took an oath to defend this Constitution. And all veterans did take that. All members of the legislature, I've also taken the oath on a number of other occasions. So that should mean something. And I tell you, especially veterans, because even if you weren't having rifle fire directed at you, uh, your life was at risk. You were willing when you enlisted or were drafted, I guess, you were going to put your life on the line. And for what? Right? To defend the Constitution. That's for what? That's what the veterans have fought and died for since this country was founded. So anyway, we need to fight this fascism in any way, shape, or manner. But we have some real good strength on our side. There's about 50 million of us here in this country that are over 70. And a lot of us are dependent upon some of these government services. And probably all of us will at one time or another, because we're not going to get out of this thing alive. And we're all going to suffer some kind of catastrophic illness or disease or accident. It's going to kill us. Can't get away from it. So anyway, in the meantime, though, we can be active. I mean, we were putting shit together in the 60s, in the 70s. I remember up through, I was in active duty for 19 up until February of 1972. And from 1972 until I'd say probably 1978, I thought we were on a great track. Ah, God, I tell you, we were making changes socially, financially, generally economically. People were living well. We had some good stuff happening. But about in the mid 70s, I guess it actually was, right, 1975 or so, that first Arab oil embargo happened. And thank God I worked, actually, I ended up working for an oil company, or that was one of the divisions of the company. It was a local company in Maine. And one of the reasons I got hired is that the prices were changing so fast that what they had for computer systems at that time, they couldn't keep up. So anyway, uh, we've seen so much changes. I did all my work initially on, analysis paper. We had no computers. I had a calculator, and that was it. And life was good. I thought, I mean, I was growing up. I bought my first house in 1974 for $23,000. And it was a VA loan. I had $0 down, and my payment was like $180 a month. And I wasn't making an awful lot of money at that time, but I could afford a house. I could afford a car. I had a little Porsche two-seater sports car, a 914. That was a kind of my fun little toy. And life was good. I worked 40, 50 hours a week. I had weekends off. And I even played golf some. So it's what are we doing today? I was working, I don't remember what it was, about $10,000, $12,000 a year. Now, that you're not going to get far on that now. But anyway, and I was able to do all that stuff I just described. Now, if you fast forward that 50 years or so, inflation doesn't account for all of that increase. I mean, yeah, I had a house for $23,000. I mean, it was on a private lot. It was in a neighborhood, a very nice neighborhood. It was close to schools. It was, relatively close to downtown and also close to out in the country. It was a kind of an ideal spot. That's where my son was born when I was living there. We could walk around the neighborhood and pushing him in the baby carriage. Oh, and then we'd be able to walk to the neighborhood store and buy some licorice and things. So things were a lot different back then. You don't do that stuff anymore. Come on, people. Let's bring that back. Let's bring back that spirit. We need to reclaim our spirit. And going forward, that's what we're going to be doing. That's what I'm going to push you for. You're going to help me. Gosh, we can do it. We can make a change. We can make a difference. We need to respond. We need to respond with our pocketbooks. We need to respond with our voices. And we need to respond out there in person whenever we can. Be strong. Hey, let's not go out with a goddamn whimper. Let's do it. Come on. Okay, I'm going to close it for today. Check it out. Hey, and check out, just to let you know that we're not alone. Hey, when Trump was elected, I had an Instagram account and I had maybe 300 followers or something like that. And I'd been doing it for a year or so. Since the election, And since all this political jumbo mumbo, uh, check out at Real Life After 70. That's the Instagram handle, if that's what they call them. But anyway, I don't know. I looked this morning, we had over 17,000 followers in that group. So we're not alone. There's a lot of people. And out of those 17,000 people, uh, over 80% are 65 and older. So tell you what, we've got the numbers. We can make the change. And we're not the only generation that really wants change. We're the only generation, however, that does know what the heck that change could be like. I mean, we have lived in that change. Let's bring it back, man. Come on, we can do it. I'm signing off. This is Mike Reynolds. Real Life After 70. Check it out. It's a fun time to be alive.